I want to start off today by saying I'm absolutely overwhelmed with gratitude to Earl Bakken and the Medtronic Foundation for choosing me to be part of this Ohana. I had a very normal 24-year-old life until I crashed onto dialysis in 2008. I had no prior knowledge of my hereditary kidney disease until blood work prompted by my mother had me rushed to the hospital on death's door. I started dialysis within 24 hours of my diagnosis, and I stayed in hospital for 3 weeks until I stabilized. I then dialyzed 3 times a week for 5 hours in hospital until I could move my treatment to home, where I dialyzed every night for 8 hours for over a year. During that time, my mother was worked up to be my kidney donor, and thankfully she was a match. My mother gave me life twice. I turned away from my disease for some time after my transplant, as I didn't want to be defined by it. I didn't value my voice as a patient until I realized I could actually use it to help others. My transplant has eliminated barriers to allow me to follow my career aspirations and to travel the world. For 3 years as the director of a non-government organization in Lesotho, Africa, I worked to build sustainable communities to care for orphans victimized by a generation lost to HIV and AIDS. In December 2017, I was given the opportunity to become the provincial coordinator to lead an all-patient developed, all-patient-run research initiative with the goal of increasing living kidney donation in Ontario by 20% by 2021. And that program is called the Transplant Ambassador Program, or TAP. That program uses the power of shared experience to break down barriers. TAP connects kidney transplant recipients and living kidney donors to chronic kidney disease patients and their families in 13 hospitals across Ontario, and in 2 years will expand to the other 13 hospitals. So all 26 hospitals in Ontario will have this program. Since January 2018, we have had over 65 donors and kidney recipients donate their time and stories to have over 1,600 meaningful interactions with patients wanting to learn more about transplant and modality options. We're bringing person-centered care from a patient perspective to empower patients to make their own decisions, have knowledge about all the care options, and to provide hope and mentorship from someone who can look them in the eyes and say, I've been there too. My vision for the future is to see a world where kidney patients can take ownership of their care journey, and where transplant is the first recommended gold standard of care. I want to see transplant ambassadors connecting with patients outside of Ontario, across Canada, to Brazil and Tanzania and Australia and around the globe. Patients should never have to sacrifice quality of life due to financial, physical, or emotional barriers. By funding a GAP program that eliminates these barriers, we can ensure equal opportunity and access to the best quality of care and quality of life for patients and their families. I took some time this morning to reflect on Earl Bakken, and I drew strength from the incredible legacy that he has given this world. In doing this, I remembered a quote by Connie Haley that seemed to sum up how I feel after this inspiring experience. Magic is what happens when the power of our dreams meets the determination in our hearts. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you, Candice. We have yet